Alright, so today we're going to talk about if you should summon for Silver Wolf in Honkai Star Rail. Now, I think, overall, Silver Wolf is going to be a very strong character, and she could definitely benefit a lot of teams and a lot of accounts. So today we're going to go over her banner and her kit and show, whether or not you should summon for Silver Wolf. So, to start with her banner here, on her banner, her 4 stars are Dan Heng, Asta, and Serval. And while I think that all 3 of those characters are very good, you do also have to, take it with a grain of salt because they all are given to you for free already. So you won't really be getting any new 4 stars that you can build because you should have all of these characters. You might not have Serval if you started the game late because I know she was a pre-register freebie, but if you don't have Serval, that could be a good pickup. Serval being a erudition lightning character, so AoE DPS. Then you have Asta, who's a buffer with the Harmony Path. It will increase your party speed. She's very good at breaking weakness against a single enemy, which is definitely very good for some of the bosses, like Simulated Universe World 4, for example. And then you have Dan Heng, who is the Hunt Path for Wind, and he's a very good single target damage dealer. Some great damage dealers here, which is cool that they're doing that for Silver Wolf's banner, since she is a quantum character on the Path of Nihility. So she is going to be, giving debuffs and just generally helping the team out. So now we're going to go over Silver Wolf's kit, which thankfully, because of the closed beta test, we have some insights on her kit here. So starting off with her skills and just her basic stuff. So her normal attack deals quantum damage to a single enemy with a 65% base chance of implanting a random bug into the enemy that lasts for 3 turns. Now her bugs are her debuffs. I believe it says it down here. Yep. She has three different types of bugs. She can reduce the enemy's attack, reduce their defense, or reduce their speed, which could all definitely be, very helpful. And I feel like different combinations with other units could be very interesting depending on the bugs you get. I think reducing speed could be interesting with Welt, because Welt has action delay. Reducing defense is just good generally for DPSs, and then reduced attack, you'll be able to live for a bit longer. But I don't know, just based on how much benefit you can get from reducing defense and speed, I feel like reducing their attack is probably actually the worst of the 3, but all 3 are still very solid. Then her skill allow changes. There's a base chance to add a 1 weakness of an ally's type to the target enemy, which is really crazy, by the way, because there's definitely gonna be fights, especially if you have a semi newer account, where you might just not have a character on your team that's has the enemy weakness. And a big issue with that right now, and since Silver Wolf is coming out before Locha and Yukong, is that not a lot of people have imaginary units. So if one of an enemy's main weaknesses is imaginary, you could use Silver Wolf to randomly just implant one of the types on your team as one of their weaknesses, which can just help you a lot. Then this also reduces the enemy's damage resistance to that weakness type by 20% for 2 turns. And if the enemy already has the type weakness, the effective damage res reduction to the weakness type will not be triggered. Okay, so they only get that if they get a new weakness. That's also good to know. And each enemy can only have 1 weakness implanted by Silver Wolf. When Silver Wolf implants another weakness to the target, only the most recent weakness will be kept. If she could stack weaknesses, that'd be broken, so that's fair. And in addition, there's a 100% base chance to reduce the damage res of the enemy further for 2 turns, and deals quantum damage to the single enemy. Okay. So yeah, her skill is going to be very strong to be able to give you those weaknesses and let you break. If you get the right luck, depending on your team comp, you'll be able to get those breaks a lot faster. Then we have her ultimate, User Band. So she has a base chance to decrease the enemy's target defense, or the target enemy's defense for 3 turns. And then at the same time, she deals quantum damage to the target enemy. So yeah, decreasing target defense with the ultimate is going to be very good. It'll help you to set up for your main damage dealer, because if you use her skill it gets the weakness of your main damage dealer, then you use your ultimate, and then you're attacking with your main damage dealer afterwards, you can get a lot of damage in. Especially if you get that defense lower as well. And then also the damage resistance shred from the skill as well. Then we have her talent, which is awaiting system response. This is what we touched on earlier with the bugs. So she has 3 different types of bugs, which are to reduce attack, reduce defense, and reduce speed. Those will scale with the talent level. And each time she attacks, she has a base chance to implant a random bug that lasts for 3 turns in the enemy target. So not only does she have the base chance on her system warning, her normal attack, to implant a bug, but also she has a chance just on any attack from her talent, and the base chance of that only goes up with the talent level. Then for her technique, Force Quit Program, she'll immediately attack the enemy, and after entering battle, she ignores weakness types and reduces the toughness from all enemies, which is really good. And weakness broken enemies from that will also trigger the quantum weakness break effect, which is the entanglement state. So yeah, definitely a very strong technique too. Maybe I'll do a tier list of the techniques in Star Rail, because some of them are very interesting. Then for traces, or well, her major traces. The first one is Generate. So it extends the duration of bugs for 1 turn, and every time an enemy is affected with weakness break, Silverwolf has a 65% base chance of implanting a random bug in the enemy, which is very good. So, you know, more chances for bugs, so more chances for debuffs, which is great. It also seems like an enemy can have multiple bugs. That's at least with the vibe I'm getting from the info. So hopefully that is true, because that would be really cool. Then the next one, Inject. The duration of weakness implanted by Silverwolf's skill increases by 1 turn, so having that weakness up for longer will be definitely really nice. And then the last major trace, side note for Ascension 6. If the enemy has 3 or more debuffs when the skill is used, the enemy's damage resistance decreases by an extra 5%. So she'll also work well with Nihility units. Like if you're gonna summon for Kafka, if you're using Hela, or if you're using any other Nihility units that might come out, that just give a lot of debuffs, you will be able to benefit a lot with Silverwolf's last trace as well. Yeah, then her Eidolons, I'm not really gonna go over these because, you know, you're only really gonna get Eidolons if you're like ridiculously lucky or if you spend money on the game. But yeah, she definitely has some solid Eidolons, as I think a lot of characters have like some pretty solid ones, especially the 5 stars. Then for her Light Cone, that's gonna be coming out. It increases the wearer's effect hit rate, and when the wearer deals deals damage to an enemy that currently has 3 or more debuffs, increases the wearer's crit rate. So yeah, you definitely just want to like stack debuffs, which is what also makes me think that you can have multiple bugs, because with all of her like bug chances, you know, you'll have a chance, you'll have a good shot at getting multiple bugs, and if you have all 3 bugs, then you'll activate all the parts of her, you know, trace, and then her Light Cone if you summon for this, which I don't think you should, because Light Cone banners are not worth it for free-to-play players. You'll be able to get some extra crit rate on her. Then after the wearer uses their basic attack, skill, or ultimate, there's a 100% base chance to implant Aether Code on a random target that does not have it yet and was hit by the ability. Targets with Aether Code receive increased damage for 1 turn. That's really good. Yeah, which I mean, it makes sense. Usually when, like in Hoyoverse games, because I also came from Genshin, when they release, like, for Genshin the weapon, or for Star Rail the Light Cone for a character alongside them, it's usually their best in slot. But, you know, there's going to be good free-to-play ones as well, that you'll be able to get a lot of benefit out of. But yeah, that is Silverwolf. I definitely think she's going to be an amazing Nihility character. I unfortunately won't be summoning for her right now, because I want to save for Kafka, and I'll probably try to get Silverwolf whenever in the future she gets a rerun banner. But yeah, let me know what y'all think of Silverwolf in the comments below, and obviously, some of the parts of her passive, of like her talents and skills and stuff like that, they might change between now and release, because, you know, from Genshin, Hoyoverse will occasionally like edit units right before they come out. You know, if you play Genshin, a good example of that was when Ganyu dropped. early in the game, they gave her a little buff. So, we'll see what happens in Silver Wolf, but I think her kit will stay relatively the same. It'll be pretty much the same conceptually. It'll just probably be like some fine tuning to make sure it's not like either super crazy or if it's not super underwhelming. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all next time.